Hey guys, and happy Homebrew Wednesday. Currently enjoying a Monterey Street Pale Ale, so here it is. Cheers, everyone. It's been a while since I did an update. I think the last video I put out was the hop giveaway. There were 3 winners, 5 kilograms each. They went out to Andrew at Baggy Brewery, also another one to Joel Shapiro, and finally the last one went to the Dent Whacker. So congratulations, you 3. Interestingly enough, Andrew was in the UK, so that was a pretty short hop. It got to him pretty quickly, all pun intended, of course. Joel Shapiro, he was off in Sweden, so even closer. So that was pretty cool. And then the Dent Whacker, of course, he was down in Florida, so that one took a little bit of time to get down there. But it did finally reach him, and hey man, I hope you guys enjoy your hops. Let me know down in the comments what you think about those hops. What was the quality of the hops? Have you cracked it open yet and checked them out and smelt them and make sure everything was cool? I certainly hope so. They seemed fresh when I sent them out, so yeah, hopefully everything got there okay. I know they got there, but hopefully they were still okay. Beyond that, I wanted to show you guys basically the party-gyle. The Imperial Stout, the last brew day that I shared with everybody, that was a pretty little catastrophe at the end of the boil, siphoning into the fermenter. But anyways, that's all history. It's been fermented now. It's all the way down to, gosh, 1020, I want to say. 13.1% ABV. So that's a big beer. Because I'm going to be honest, that Imperial Stout, while chocolatey, is kind of boring, really. Despite it being 13%, the heat's pretty well hidden. I mean, you know it's there. You can feel the warming as you take a sip. But beyond chocolatey, that's about all it is. So it's not toasty or roasty. There's none of that sort of, it's not an onion where there's just layers of flavor. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and add in this. But first, before we get to kind of showing that off, let's go ahead and take a look at the party-gyle. It looks really dark, much darker than I thought it was going to be. I sort of anticipated it coming out like a brown ale or something like that, but after it went into the fermenter, I was like, my God. And I think I showed some of this off when I was kegging it. But there it is, really nice, puffy head on it. It's got really good carbonation on it, and I first described this one as a mild. And really that sort of flavor still shines through to me. It's light, but it's dark, but at the same time, it's refreshing. It's got toasty notes to it, and well, let's take another taste. Cheers. It's like the equivalent of a Schwartz beer, which is actually a lager, right? So it's like a dark lager. This is the equivalent of an ale, so it's a dark ale. So mild, it's a very dark mild, but dark ale indeed, nice and light and crispy on the mouthfeel. But at the same time, 4.8%. It's drinking very, very nice. Very, very happy with that one. And this is actually, believe it or not, this is kind of my go-to beer. So this is actually what I've been craving most lately. So really, really cool. I'm really enjoying this one. All right, so enough of that. Let's go ahead and check out that Imperial Stout. Okay, so here it is. This is it. It's looking pretty viscous on the glass. Let me dive into it and tell you what I think. Honestly, I really don't get much on the aroma. I get a little bit of alcohol on it, but just a little bit. That's it. Let's go ahead and take a sip. Very nice, full body mouthfeel. I get a little bit of that chocolate. It's like kind of different layers of chocolate to it. So in the very beginning, a little bit of like non-sweet chocolate, and then you get sort of that Belgian-esque sort of chocolate notes to it. Almost like when you eat a chocolate and it's got bourbon in it, you know, those chocolate or bourbon-filled chocolate, something like that. It's like that a little bit, but less in terms of layers. It's a nice, thick, dark stout, but it's missing the stout. It's missing that oomph to it. So I've been contemplating on what to do with it. So there's this mixture here. It's got cardamom, the cinnamon stick. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 cardamom seeds, pods, cinnamon stick, 1 vanilla bean, and about 2.5 spoonfuls of French medium roast or medium toast oak chips. The smell on this, if I get past the bourbon, then there's layers. I get the cinnamon, I get the vanilla. Not quite so much the oak, but I know that that will come through later. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and strain this through basically in my cylinder thing that I use for dry hopping in the keg with. I'm going to go ahead and put this in there, but let the bourbon fall through into another container that I'll save and put more oak chips in. But I'm just going to put in the hard ingredients here. I don't want the sort of tannic notes that this has been soaking in for so long. I just want the oak, the cardamom pods, cinnamon stick, whatever. I'm going to go ahead and stick that in my cylinder and then stick that into the keg and let it age for about a week, and then taste the keg next week and then see where it's at. I'm going to have to do that on Friday because, well, I'll get to that in a minute. Another thing I did this week was I bottled up the saison. The saison that then I did a secondary fermentation with all the Brett's. Then I went ahead and put in, it was 1 kilogram, so 2.2 pounds of cherry puree into it. And when I bottled it, it was tasting very nice. Before I put the cherry puree in it, it had that slight elevated sort of bready, fruity characters that come along with, well, Brett fermentation, secondary Brett fermentation, but it didn't have that sort of oomph that I was hoping for. So I put in that extra kilo of the cherry puree, hoping to get that oomph. Now when I bottled it, it had more of the oomph, but not basically to the level I was hoping it was. So in order to get that oomph, as I understand it, you need more sugar for the Brett to eat in order for it to fully develop. So anyways, I went ahead and put in, I think it was close to 170 grams of dextrose at bottling time into the bottling bucket. And then I went ahead and put those all into bottles. So hopefully that additional sugar and the bottle conditioning time needed in order to carbonate those, and then I'll go ahead and just let them condition for, well, as long as it takes. Basically, I'll taste one probably once a month or so and see how it develops. But anyways, that's in the bottle. It was tasting very nice. I'm very happy with it. It's definitely a Brett Saison type beer with some very sort of dark fruit notes to it, cherry-esque. But yeah, that's basically where that is. And I'll go ahead and follow up with a tasting note on that when I crack one open. But again, that's been in the secondary for probably close to, like, it's 6 months, I guess, since I brewed that beer. So there you go. Another beer I've been working on, of course, is last weekend. Gunnar was here. You probably saw the video. It was with us doing the tasting of all of the beers from the SJ Pour Challenge 2014. I did get cut off. We did 8 beers total, but you didn't get to see the last 3 beers because my finger didn't actually hit the record button as I thought it did. I lost it. So anyways, we did a recording, but that was after we had a brew day. We brewed up a Belgian dubbel. It's a very light dubbel. Here it is, actually. I've got it coming in. Right now, it started off at 1.062. It's coming in at 1014 is where it's at. So it puts it just under 6.5%. So it's I don't know. It's right on the border of a blonde, somewhere between a blonde and a dubbel. But in terms of color, I didn't put any special B in it or anything like that. We did use dark sugar. We used, it was about 400 grams, so about a pound of dark candy sugar in it. It didn't make it so dark as I was hoping for. But then again, I didn't add in any special B into it either. I only used, let's see, Pilsner malt and Cara Munich. And then, of course, the almost half a kilo of dark candy sugar. So that's what it came out at, and there it is. Let's go ahead and put it into a glass and give it a taste. Oop. A little bit of yeasties there. So there it is. Let's get the aroma. We used Belgian 530 on this one, I believe. WLP 530. In terms of the aroma, it's got, you know, light notes of that Belgian-esque sort of aroma to it. The flavor, it's definitely there. It's got that Belgian-esque flavor. Medium body on the mouthfeel. It kind of makes me think of like a medium body saison. Yeah, Belgian blonde, somewhere between Belgian blonde and Belgian dubbel. It's not dubbel because it doesn't have those dark fruity notes to it, right? Dark plum or dates or raisins or anything like that. It's definitely more closer to the saison side of the house. I'll probably end up cold crashing that this week and then kegging it up probably in about 4 or 5 days and enjoying it after. Speaking of after, next weekend, Saturday, November 17th, I'm going to be on a plane heading home to Vermont. I'm going home to Vermont for Thanksgiving. This is the first time I've been home for Thanksgiving, well, since 1993. It's been a long time. It's been a very, very long time. So looking forward to seeing family again and hanging out and being home. And of course, getting my hands on some more Heady Topper and Focal Banger and things like that. Beyond that, man, that's all that's going on in my neck of the woods. I hope that you guys are having a hell of a week and have a better weekend. Cheers.